What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for Palantir Technologies with the ticker symbol PLTR. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So I believe last time I looked at Palantir was back on, it looks to be right on December 22nd. So it's about 6 days later, and we're going to do an update on what the price is doing since December 22nd. Looks like when price had a large green bar, that's when I did my analysis. You can see that Monday opened up higher. We traded higher on Tuesday, and then Thursday we started seeing signs of a bottom, a top, and price has been selling off since Thursday and Friday as of right now. So is this uptrend over? Well, let's go over the chart and see if we see any warning signs or any red flags on the chart. So first, we'll use the log scale because of this large move up higher, and it just represents the price action more cleaner. So looking at the log scale, price is still above the EMA, which is a good sign. You can see that price is still above the EMA. It generally leads to prices continuing higher. So since we're still above it, that's a good sign. But again, EMA is lagging, so obviously we can still be above it, and the price can signal a top. So let's look at the price action now. So you see that price made a high right back over here with this big red candle, and then we can draw a horizontal line across. You see that price did push above that high, but barely. So that's not a good sign. You want to see price exceed the prior levels by a good amount, not just barely break above it and fall back below it. That's not a good sign. So this is showing signs of a top, at least a temporary top. It could last maybe a few weeks or a few months, maybe even a few days. But as right now, it looks like a temporary top has been put in place, and we could probably see price fall back down to the mid to low 70s, and maybe even steeper, depending on how aggressive the shorts are. If they're very aggressive, meaning we see a sharp push through the EMA, like a sharp slice, then things can get even more bearish, maybe back to the 45. So it could get that bearish. But as right now, I wouldn't be looking for those targets right now. It is showing signs of somewhat of a temporary top because of this double top formation in play. But the trend is still pretty strong, so there's a good chance that that macro uptrend can override any short-term bearish price action. We're also still above this bullish trend line as well, so that's a good sign as for the bulls. Do I have a measure move target for the bulls? Yes, I do. You can take a measurement of this leg up right here. You drag it over. This was the start of the second leg. Price was attempting to reach the $95, $96 level, or even 97. But it looks like they're stalling out slightly below it, right around the 84. Maybe we do continue higher after this correction takes place, fall back down to the mid to low 70s, but we don't know for sure. Let's see how strong the bearish price action is. If it's weak, then there's a good chance price will resume higher. If it's strong, meaning we slice right through support and the EMA, something like this, we see a large drop, then things can get bearish and lead to another considerable drop. So that's how I'm looking at Palantir on the daily chart. Basically, Palantir is a nice strong uptrend with a measure move target at the $95 level. So that's the level the bulls are attempting to reach. However, we are seeing signs of weakness take place in the chart more recently, of price not able to exceed the prior high. And now we're seeing price reverse lower, which can continue towards the mid to low 70s, especially with the S&P 500 pulling back as well. So there's a good chance we could see more downside for Palantir, mid to low 70s, possibly even all the way up to down to the mid 60s. And then from there, we'll see what happens. But let's say we don't get that low, then what can happen is we just continue higher towards that measure move target of $95. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. Here's a look at the weekly chart for Palantir, and we are seeing overextension in the price. It's far away from that EMA, and there's a good chance it could pull back to that EMA, which is currently at the $54 level, which is a considerable drop. That's about a 30% correction. I mean, we have seen similar size corrections in the past. From the 27 to right about the $20 was about 26%. You can see there was another considerable drop right here, $20 to about 13. That was about a 33% drop. So in this bull market, when this low was created, we have seen 30% drops, 25 to 30% drops. So what makes you think we won't see another one right here? So there's a good chance we could be seeing something similar take place, especially with that price action signaling signs of weakness and price this overextended from the EMA for this amount of time. I think that means that the pullback is coming, and it could be now. Do I believe that's the top for Palantir and it's not going to continue higher from there? I don't think so. I still think the trend is still pretty strong and there's still a lot of room to the upside. As long as you don't see harsh selling, then there's a good chance price will continue higher. So all I have for Palantir, let me draw this one trend line real quick. So we also have this bullish trend line right here. And if price can bounce off that, maybe at the mid 60s, I think there's a good chance, it's still above this trend line, then it's still bullish. So all I have for Palantir on the daily weekly charts is the Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.